which is unfortunate, but at the same time, I figure he got his payback in the next video, which is coming up right now and has sound on for some reason. Oh my goodness, I'm going to die from the sound. I better turn that sound off because it's going to destroy my face. Anyways, the next battle is 6 more random pokes, and I make a horrible mistake by bringing both a Meloetta and a Calicazam. Calicazoo, Calicame, Calicayu. And he brought Gliscor again and Hydreigon again. And he brought the Keldeo and the Genesect and the Chansey. But of course, the thing that I am really thinking here is, oh, he's got a Genesect despite the fact that he's playing on Black 1 and White 1. That's kind of weird. But he apparently has Black 2, White 2, but at the same time he also doesn't really seem to use it at this point, but whatever. So I'm going to read read in quotation marks that you can totally see because I'm talking, a quotation from people at Smogon. Genesect is rather powerful. It is a really good Pokemon. It is like the perfect Pokemon. It has download to raise one of its stats randomly, and it can be both physical and special at the same time. And thus, it is the great candidate for being an Uber. And I honestly agree with them, because honestly having Genesect on your team automatically makes it viable. You could have a team of, let's see, let's go with Parasect, Scyther, and a Dratini, and Genesect, and you might actually win some battles because you have the Genesect on that team. So he's going to bring out his Blissey, Chansey, and I don't know why he has such an obsession with this Pokemon, but whatever. He seems to like the really bulky wall things. And I go for the Mirror Coat, and I was like, why on earth would he go for Bug Buzz? It's a Genesect. Turn 1, they always go for U-turn, you idiot. Anyways, I'm going to go out to Meloetta because I have the Calm Mind, and I don't rely on the Relic Song. Because, honestly, who would? And I've also got Psyshock, so I feel like if I get a couple of boosts, I can take this Chansey out. So I'm going to go for that Psyshock, and he apparently invests a lot more in defense than I anticipated. Even though that still does a decent amount. It's not exactly what I would have hoped for, but, you know, Meloetta can only sing so loudly into that microphone to make people get their ears shattered off and then die. Which can actually happen, I'm led to believe. Although I don't think it actually happens in that way, because that seems rather morbid. Anyways, I'm going to wonder why Meloetta looks like its arm is in front of its head where the microphone thing looks like it is, but then again, I probably shouldn't wonder about that. So out comes a Hydreigon again, or Hydreigon, as the Pokedex officially calls it, which Nintendo always picks the strangest localization pronunciations for stuff. Anywho, I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice because I don't want to miss my Focus Blast, and I've managed to kill off the Hydreigon, so that's good. It's really good. I'm supposed to have leftovers, Life Orb or something, I think, on one of these. I don't know if I exactly have it on one of them or not, but whatever. Just going to have to go with the fact that I don't have it. Now Genesect comes back out, and I'm like, well, Meloetta's dying, I guess. So, that's great. I mean, it's just great. So, gonna switch out to my Genesect. Oh, Genesect, yes. Look at my Genesect! He's turned yellow and grown spoons out of his arms. And he also grew fingers, which Genesect doesn't have. Because Genesect is a thing that I'm going to keep saying the name of over and over again, because you can't read! So I bring out my Thundurus, and I'm like, you ain't never had a friend like me. You ain't never had a friend who put in a substitute. I went to that because he was locked in on Thunderbolt, and I was like, you're going to regret that. And then Chansey comes out, and Chansey's like, nope, not going to regret it. I've got Seismic Toss. I'm going to break your subs all day, every day, once a year. Well, I don't know. So, I'm going to be like, Nasty Plot again, and maybe miss the Toxic if he's going for it. But no, he goes for Seismic Toss again. And I'm like, well, I'm at +4. That should be enough to do some damage here. And so I do. And I cannot keep a sub, so that just sucks. So I'm going to have to get rid of all my attempts of eating lunch. And now I'm going to die Genesect, because that's just how things go in this metagame. You bring something out, Genesect comes out and kills it. It's sad, really, but hey, what can you do? I'm also in the fearing of him sweeping me, but at the same time, I really don't have any control over it because I didn't bring any really good pokes, and I brought 2 psychic types because that's a good idea, especially in this metagame. So now I'm going to bring out my Empoleon with the illegal-ish ability of Torrent, which isn't really illegal because of what a Torrent actually is, and he brings out his Keldeo, and I'm just like, well, maybe he doesn't have Secret Sword because he's not in Resolute form? And then I remember, oh, right, he can be in Resolute form and not have it by being on black 1, white 1 because that doesn't exist there. And thus I go for the Grass Knot, which actually does a lot more than I expected because Keldeo seems like it would be pretty light, but it does under half after leftovers, so I'm just like, why can't you trip over the knots I tie on your hooves? So I'm going to go for a Scald in hopes that I can burn him or something. And then he Secret Swords me, and I'm like, oh, well, that's surprising. I honestly didn't expect that because I didn't realize you were playing on black 1, white 1. So that was fun because, you know, paying attention to the trainer at the start of the match is important. I just kind of figured he was black 2, white 2 because of the fact that he had Genesect, but apparently not. So I'm going to bring out my only hope at possibly winning at this game, and that would be my Fruit of the Breloom. And I'm going to Mach Punch because that's honestly my only hope to take out that thing. And now out comes Genesect again, and I'm just like, ugh, this Genesect just... It really is that good of a Pokemon. It's not just because he brought this that he won. I'm just saying Genesect is freaking ridiculous, and I like using it, and everybody else likes using it. That's why it's the #1 Pokemon. It's used in every other battle, according to the statistics taken by the Pokemon Showdown guy, Alderon, I think his name is. I don't know, Aldrin. So going to go back out to Meloetta and hopefully live an Ice Beam, but that's not going to happen because it's Genesect, and Genesect kills all the things with every move. And thus I'm like, well, I can bring out my Bisharp, which is named Euclid because I'm creative like that. I might actually change its name to Checkmate so I can have one that's not named after Euclid Hellscythe. But he's going to bring out his Gliscor, which confused me at first, but I was like, oh, I'll just go for the substitute, maybe I can live. And then I'm going to go for a Swords Dance and see what happens from here, because this is my only Pokemon that's left. And I thought about taking some risks, because I've got Sucker Punch and Swords Dance and Sub and Iron Head, so I have no chance of winning unless I can get like a billion flinches. So go for the Iron Head, do a freaking crap ton of damage, which I never expected to have happen because of how bulky Gliscor tends to be, but nope, doesn't work. So yeah, there you go. Gliscor Genesect is the new core of OU. Except not really, because we just pick these pokes at random. Anyways, those are 2 good games, even though they are both very one-sided. One side and the other. And I'd say you got your revenge. So be sure to leave likes, because I like likes, and they are good for my channel, apparently. At least that's what I keep hearing, so I'm just going to keep going with it. And leave comments, because I love those too. I love them! I'm like the overly attached guy who is sitting when it comes to that kind of thing. Actually, I don't, but whatever. Wonder what it's going to sound like on the thing. I might need to lower the volume of that, because it might rape people's ears.